All right, all right. Whole Squad Sports back at it for Senior Bowl coverage, previewing quarterbacks today. We got six fine quarterbacks here with Will Thomas. How you doing, Will?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man.
Good,
Dalton, how you
man.
doing, my
Can't
friend?
complain, dude.
Hell yeah. Uh, Man, we've got Monday going on, recording this here. Hope everyone's having a good MLK day. So hope if you're off work, shout out. We're going to get to the quarterbacks, the signal callers here in just a minute. Only got six guys, so we really get to dive into them. As of right now, I don't think they'll add anybody here. You know, last year I think they were pretty much set as of right now. So we'll see. But early thoughts, fellas. Want to get your thoughts. First off, start with Will. I know we only have six, but what do you think of the six quarterbacks we have on tap here going into Mobile?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that crazy, right? I'm not looking at any of these guys being like, I can't believe the college career that they've had. These guys are gonna be a surefire first round pick. Because like we said in the beginning of the show, like you brought it up, like Pavia is the most decorated guy that we have here, and that can kind of come off as a negative. But you look at what Pavia has done, obviously, then you look at like just like the athletic profile of other guys like Taylen Green. I can talk about Taylen Green for a good half an hour. Like this guy's just so fun to watch. He's that kind of alien player. So you don't really have that superstar guy that's going to be in Mobile, but you have a bunch of players who I do like watching. And with a guy like Taylen or a guy like Diego, like you have a guy who's what 6'4" versus 5'10". You get a wide range of builds, a wide range of quarterback, but they're all pretty good players, right? And they're here for a reason. So I am excited to see them all play.
Me too, man. I think you put that pretty solid. And Dalton, I know you guys, Florida Gator fans, you guys have seen a lot of these quarterbacks, SEC guys. I know SEC talent reigns supreme. We had Jackson Dart last year. We had guys that kind of rose up. We had Tyler Shuck kind of solidify himself to second round. And I don't think people were really saying first round, but Jalen Milrose, another guy. He had a decent week, but it was pretty much a potential thing after that week. Riley Leonard was another guy, but you two being SEC guys, we got Pavia, we got Taylen. Out of those two, I mean, big body, like you said, wide range of bodies, wide range of skills. Dalton, what is your early thoughts on all these guys and your SEC guys, and maybe some guys you're not familiar with? With Cole Payton, I don't think too many people are because he's only really had 1 year production.
Yeah. Well, for Taylen, I mean, all the talent's there, right? You can see it. He has the arm. Obviously, he can run. Great runner. He got the body. But, man, I don't know if he has it between the ears.
Okay.
I mean, he makes a lot of dumb plays. And I know Arkansas is terrible. So maybe he's trying to play hero ball, like Josh Allen tries to do in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just didn't work because of the personnel. That could be it, too. We'll see. We're going to find out more this week. I think he has a lot to prove. I mean, he has to just be better making decisions. The talent's there, though. And then Diego, it's a size question. I mean, Gabriel came here last week. You didn't mention him.
Right.
Last year, I mean, nobody saw him going third round either.
No.
Nobody agreed with the pick, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
he went third round.
Hindsight's
So-
always 20/20, but yeah,
We both think Pavia's way better than him.
I agree, exactly. I think with us getting to see, Senior Bowl last year only being our first one, this being our second, that's kind of the mold I use these guys. All right, if he's a littler guy, is he better than Dylan Gabriel? And look at Pavia, and I would take him over Dylan Gabriel. And, a lefty is some things that can, help you or hurt you. There's some guys who are lefties who you can't even tell that are lefties, just because they're so good. But Gabriel wasn't one of those guys. I think the mechanical issues – your mechanics have to be so on point if you're a left-handed quarterback. So that kind of brings up the questions with Cole Payton. What are we going to see? Are we going to see a guy? Are they going to predominantly use him in the run game? Or they're going to try to fine-tune him throughout the week, or they're going to be like, okay, this is what he is. We're just going to try to make the best of what he is. So I'm really curious how the NFL coaches, once they finally get their hands on him. But fellas, the teams are actually set, the national and American teams. So that's pretty good. Gives us, who's going to be behind who or in front of who, and who's going to be getting first-team reps. Everyone's going to be getting like equal reps. But there's only one that starts, one that finishes. Seth Hennigan, led the team on a game-winning drive. He didn't start the game, so it's all about who finishes there. They took him out. They put him back in for the game-winning drive, just for that drive. So, yeah, out of all these guys, we may see that happen again. Let's take a look at the national team, fellas. We got Luke Altmyer, Taylen Green, and Nussy, a guy who is, some people say he fell off a mountain, fell off a cliff. Either way, it just hasn't gone as scripted with Nussmeier. Want to start off with Altmyer here. Look at his yardage. I'm looking at some film. I did some all-22 film here. Looked at the Wisconsin game, and I want to get your thoughts here, Will. First on Luke Altmyer. Have you seen a lot of him? Is he a guy you're curious to see more of, or what's your thoughts on him in general?
Yeah, I've seen a good bit of him, and I was at the Music City Bowl when they played
Okay.
Tennessee this past year here in Nashville. And I was impressed with what I saw. I mean, he was 20 of 33 passing for only 196, so it wasn't like a bunch of explosive downfield, but everything he did, it looked good. Like it looked like
Yeah.
it was well thought out. It was in a good scheme, and you have seen him put up some pretty good numbers against the Big Ten. Hit 3,000 yards this year. I like the 22-5 touchdown to picks a lot. He's playing smart. He's not putting the ball in harm's way, but there's nothing that he does that I'm like whoa. Like
Right.
he doesn't really blow me away with much. But he's very mobile. He's mobile enough for his size. He got a good arm, so he's a very just kind of prototypical good quarterback prospect. And I am glad he got to go. He get to Illinois from Ole Miss because with the Rebels, he never really got a chance to really get out there. They had guys in front of him. He came to Illinois, was immediately an impact guy in the Big Ten, one of the top half of the Big Ten when it came to quarterbacking. So he's a really good player. So nothing really stands out to me as like I can't believe he just did that. But that's not always a bad thing, right? Because it means that everything else is kind of good. There aren't any glaring issues. Nothing really stands out. So I do like Altmyer a good bit.
What you think, Dalton? Now, I agree with everything you said. I think he's a guy. I think I don't have too much to say on him, but he doesn't take really a lot of bad risks. Sometimes he stares down his targets, but he's good at seating pressures and getting through his reads. We see with a guy like Shadur Sanders. I love Shadur Sanders, but it's hard for him to check off one read to two, check off two read to three. Getting through that actual progression. Luke Altmyer doesn't have that problem. He lacks in some of the other things, but that's one thing he can really do is get through his progression and go back. So when stuff hits the fan, when shit hits the fan, can he go back to his one as well as keep his feet on the run and get out of pressure? I've seen him do that at times. Sneaky runner a little bit. But I want to add this before I want to get your thoughts, Dalton. I think a Luke Altmyer is a guy who's going to benefit. Because who was in front of him at Ole Miss? Who was that? Who was in front of him?
I mean,
Was that Corral?
Dart.
Corral or
This is Dart.
was it Dart?
Because Dart left last year. That was 2024. So
Yeah,
Dart
but
started.
because he started in
But Dart
2020.
only start 2 years.
Altmyer was
No.
at Ole Miss 21-22. I think it was Corral.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it was
Yes.
Matt.
Corral. Damn, that's crazy.
And
That
then
feels
Dart, yeah.
that feels so long ago. Matt
That's-
Corral.
Yeah, he was good, man.
He was good. He was good. Shout out to Matt Corral, UFL now. So we'll see what he does this season. But I want to get your thoughts here. Before I close here, Dalton. I wanted to say here, like NIL. Some guys don't know their role, right? They think they're a star. You see some guys like Matt Staub, or was it Ryan Staub?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Staub. Ryan Staub going from Colorado, Tennessee. They say he's adding for depth, but he could end up starting at the end of the year. Who ever knows? But he's a guy who doesn't expect to start, right? He's not going there and saying, I need these first team reps. So Luke Altmyer, I think, knows that he's not going to be looked at as a starter coming in. And I think he knows he's going to be a career backup.
Yeah.
And some of these players have never been that. They've never been a backup. And they really don't have that in their head even going into the league. So I think that's what's going to benefit him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's a guy that's like, all right, I'm not going to be a starter. I'm going to be the serviceable backup. I know I'm only going to be in there if something crazy goes down, but if they do put me in, I'm going to be surgical. So I want to get your thoughts on Luke Altmyer, Dalton, before we move on to Big Taylen.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying about, I don't think he's a starter.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you never know with his development. I mean, if you watched him from his first year to his last year, when he was, first-year starter,
Yeah.
he ran a lot. I mean, he was mostly a runner. And then this year, he was really airing it out. And they didn't have any great weapons this year. They had Pat Bryant left the league. Hank Beatty was his number one. Nobody knows who Hank Beatty is.
Shout out Pat Bryant.
So, I think he's solid, but I got questions about him. I mean, consistently hitting NFL throws, deep outs and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's a backup. But I do like his mobility, and he's smart. So I think he'd be a good fit for any QB room in the NFL as a backup.
Yeah, I just think if something crazy goes in, you have to put Luke Altmyer. It's like, all right, he can get us through these next couple quarters or get us through this game. I think that's what's, his niche is going to be, how his shtick and how he's going to make a living. I mean, starters are always going to be hard to come by. It's the hardest thing. It's what makes it so beautiful, how hard it is to get 32 good quarterbacks, let alone 32 at the same time that are really good. So I think what we're going to see, fellas, the starters may be always kind of struggling, but I think the backups are going to be really strong these next 3 to 4 years with all the quarterback talent coming in. We're going to see elite backups. I mean, there's only so many spots.
Starters get hurt a lot too.
Yes.
Now, I mean,
right.
half the league.
And then you got the last couple of weeks, if you're already clinched, you're throwing guys in there. If you're tanking, you're throwing guys in there. We see a lot of guys getting more rep, that we're not used to, or just at least getting, on the 53-man roster before it's all said and done. So Luke Altmyer, I do see a long career ahead of him. I really do believe that. Look, I mean, he's only threw 10 picks one time. I love that. That's one thing I love to see. Not a lot of picks. I think, his risk to reward, it's only improved. His ceilings only went up. His floors only went up. So shout out to Luke Altmyer. We'll see what he does in Mobile. So he's going to be on the national team. We'll see if he starts. We don't know, but we got his tandems to see who he'll be passing to. But another guy's fellas, let's move on to Taylen Green. Guy who, like you said, we're talking about, big body. He can move around. Started his career at Boise State, but finished at Arkansas. Start off here with Dalton. What is your thoughts on Taylen Green? I know we've had a lot of film on Taylen Green. We know what we're getting, so a lot of people say, right? We know what we're getting with Taylen Green. Some people say he can be a Logan Thomas, move to tight end or something. What's your thoughts? Is he an NFL guy?
I mean, he reminds me a lot of the really athletic guys that aren't great at quarterback, like Anthony Richardson.
Right.
Them kind of guys. Like, that's who he reminds me of. And I wish it wasn't the case, but, man, he's just takes too many risks. He's the opposite of Altmyer, in terms of between the ears. Too many risks, doesn't make the right audibles at the line. And he's not good at making progressions either. Granted, it didn't help him much at Arkansas, especially this year. I mean, his receiving core.
That's where I got to give it to
all
him.
They have is don't make a play.
Yes, that's where I kind of give him a little take. And a system guy, true meaning of a system guy, and maybe not a system passer, a system runner. You're going to bring him in there for some read options, bring in there for some RPOs, short passes. I don't know. I mean, like you said, there's only 32 starters, and there's only so many backups. I don't know. With the athlete, I know he'll probably get drafted, just being the athlete that he is.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking, Will, on Taylen Green, or what are you excited to see in Mobile just around his game?
Yeah, I mean, he's by far the best athlete that we have here out of these six. I mean, 6'6", 224. Yeah. I mean, the guy's an alien. And my general philosophy is when you have the chance to draft an alien, you do it. Obviously, with a guy at quarterback, it's a little higher risk. And the one thing I don't like with Taylen Green, he's taken 59 sacks for the last 2 years. That is just not going to fly in the NFL. And obviously some of that is, Arkansas maybe doesn't have the best guys up front to block for him. At a certain point, sacks are also of the quarterback not getting the ball out in time. So if he has those same problems in the NFL and he gets beat up a lot, like, he's big, but he's not built. So if he's just getting hit by an NFL D lineman, that's not going to be very sustainable for him. But I mean, his numbers are fine. His yard totals are good. Completion rate is just above 60% for both the last 2 years. But I mean, he ran for 777 this year, 602 last year. So you are seeing that dual threat ability. My biggest concern with him is the fact that his sack numbers are pretty high, and that just won't work out if it carries over into the pros.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff he's got to fine tune, and it all depends on where you go. He's the ultimate. All right, where's he going to go? Mm-hmm. Does he remind you kind of Jalen Milroe? Is he a better Jalen Milroe? What is his comparison to kind of Jalen Milroe to you? A guy we see in Mobile last year.
He reminds me of Jalen Milroe if you had put Milroe through what you did with Captain America. We just kind of like juiced him up. Like, he seems like he's twice his size, but yeah, they are pretty similar players, right? Where they're dual threat guys, they're good athletes. The decision making isn't always there. The throwing's a little bit inconsistent. So he's higher ceiling than Milroe for me just because of his size and his athletic profile. But they are pretty similar comps.
Okay, and what do you think? Like, as a Dalton, is like better or worse than Jalen Milroe? I didn't honestly. I'm gonna say it right now. I hell of a guy. I mean, he was a hell of a guy. I think he was the guy who maybe could switch to running back or switch to tight end and Milroe and have a long career. But after Mobile, I honestly didn't think he would get drafted. So seeing him get drafted, it pretty much tells me Taylen Green's at least going to get a shot. Is he better than Milroe to you, or what do you think?
I mean, it's really hard to compare him. Just the talent around him coming out of college.
Yeah.
I mean, Bama and Arkansas comparing their quarterbacks, it's actually really hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially even if they play alike, it's still really hard. I mean, I think he has a higher ceiling. I do think he has a higher ceiling. I could see this guy, if he gets the right coaching, develop it into a starter one day. But it's a long shot.
Yeah. And what about fits? I mean, is there a team out there that's going to be useful to give me a young guy? I can get him for cheap. I can get him to throw in there. Maybe I got an older guy in front of him. Who you say?
Like, the Eagles would be a good team for him, just the offensive scheme. I could see him filling in for Hurts and playing just as good as Hurts. He don't pass very well.
Okay. Is he like a Kellen Mond? Are we looking at a Kellen Mond here? Is he faster, Kellen Mond?
He's just more athletic, bigger arm.
Yeah, that's
he's not that accurate though either.
It's a bad call.
He's not that accurate.
But I will say Taylen Green has a tight spiral.
Yeah.
I will say that. He can throw a piss missile. Howitzer. He really can. He's got it in him.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's not the
that's where it's
question.
like that's where the AR comps come from me. Like you said, AR, but AR went crazy high. So you're getting a bargain AR. I mean, a hell of a bargain. You're going to get this guy late. So yeah, I think he could show out, man. I think he really could show out. I think they're going to use him in the run game a lot, some design runs. So, but he's by far, like you said, Will, the biggest quarterback here, 6'6", 224. And a guy like Nussmeier, we can move on to Nussy. I was really surprised he was 6'1". I thought he was, maybe I'm crazy. I mean,
big 6'3", 6'4".
I watched a little bit of Nussmeier, then I seen what I saw, and I was like, didn't watch too much after, so maybe I just didn't watch enough. But 6'1", that kind of was surprising. We only got a couple years of production on him, really, of real time. What is your thoughts, fellas? I don't know right now. He could have a great time in Mobile, have a great compression season, right? Have a great he's going to have to throw probably at the combine if he gets, invited. I know his dad's got NFL ties, so probably he's going to have a good pro day more than likely. Got to have a solid pro day. What's the range here, fellas? Because it's really only 1 year of solid production. What do you think, Dalton?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch him high. I don't think anybody will touch him high. I mean,
lower or above Taylen Green?
I'll take him lower.
Okay.
Personally, I mean, there's so many questions with him. If you watch film 2 years ago to this year, you would think somebody was wearing a mask or something. Like, he doesn't look like the same guy. He said he wasn't healthy, but that only goes so far. If you're on the field playing, you got to produce.
So he's Baker Mayfield Jr., right?
Yeah, he wishes he was Baker Mayfield.
I mean, but
he ain't that good.
And then, what's the biggest question here, Will? You got? Is it arm strength? Is it just between the ears, or does he just not have enough reps, or is it a system flaw? So I'm trying to find ways to where it's like, okay, make it work, and what kind of went wrong.
Yes, I mean, LSU's offense as a whole didn't really work very well. The talent was there, right? I mean, the receivers were there. You had your red zone guy in Trey Green. You had the running game wasn't really going to help him, but I do remember seeing a bunch of his throws, and maybe it was the oblique thing. They just looked so weak, like they were just floating, and that wasn't something that was a major problem in 2024. It did still stick out, but clearly him not being 100% did impact him this year. I mean, 4,000 yards last year, not even 2,000 this year. But he's always kind of been that gunslinger guy. Last season, in the biggest games, he was kind of due for 2 or 3 picks in all of them. And you saw that same trend happen this year when he was healthy. He only threw 5 this year because he didn't play very much. But I mean, 12 picks last year, 5 this year, limited action. Like, I have questions really about both, about his arm and his decision making, about how he does operate when he's pressured, when the lights are the brightest. So I have a ton of questions about Nussmeier. And like I said, it's not like he's 6'3", to where you can kind of look past, like he's 6'1". Like, those two things need to be dialed in, because he's not like this genetic anomaly when in the NFL context, to where you can get away with not having the strongest arm or the sharpest mind. Like, you got to have all that, and that just wasn't there for him.
He's not even a mobile 6'1" either.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's like Jared Goff 6'1". Yeah. Jared Goff's not 6'1" though. So right. I mean, there's a lot of issues with him. He really has to have a good week, man.
He has to be on fire from here until draft day. Yeah. Like, on fire. His PR team has to be on fire. His cameraman has to be on fire. He's got to get up. He's got to show that he knows his stuff on the board. Because that's, you look at a guy like Matt Castle, didn't never start a college game, but they knew he's behind dogs and he knew his stuff on the board. He proved that. And that's one thing you're going to have to prove if you don't have a lot of tape, or if you're in his case where you got good tape, you got bad tape, and we have injuries. So it's like, all right, we have the perfect storm right now, but what can we fix? We do have some room to grow. This quarterback class is not loaded. I mean, we got guys coming back to school. So Dante Moore is a big one. Trinidad Chambliss is, trying to do everything under the sun to get eligible, which the fact that he's not in this game blows my mind, because he would absolutely murk this whole week. Mm-hmm. He would go crazy all week. I'm just thinking of him just against air, against some of these big 6'4", some of these big 6'3" guys we got in here in this game, and with NFL coaches, why wouldn't you want to be there? Maybe he just really, really, really wants a national championship. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, but with all that being said, if Trinidad Chambliss was in this game, I think he would be by far the best guy. So, it's looking like this is what the national team, is going to be rolling out. Who do you think is going to get the majority of the reps, Dalton?
So I got one question first.
Okay.
How do y'all compare Nussmeier to last year's late round picks, Will Howard and Clint Ewers? Did y'all like him more than them?
I wasn't big on Will Howard. I really wasn't. I think he was I think Riley Leonard was way better than him. In
Oh,
my
him
opinion,
too. Yeah,
in my
him.
opinion,
Him
I
too.
love Riley Leonard. I loved him, especially going into the after coming out of Senior Bowl. I mean, he won me over with the charm and the press conferences, and then he backed it up with his play.
Played good last week of the year too. Almost beat somebody. He almost beat the Texans or somebody.
Yeah, I think I was great when Philip Rivers came back. I was so mad and so hurt.
Well, he was
for,
hurt
for
though.
Riley Leonard. I know, but I love Riley Leonard. I think he should be the starter long term in Indy. I really do believe that. He showed a lot of nuts and guts, even coming to Mobile. I know he was a hometown kid, but he only played the national championship like 2 weeks before that. So you're saying, what do I think of Nussmeier compared to some of the other guys? Well, give me some other late guys.
Ewers and Howard and Leonard.
I like Ewers a
three.
lot more than Nussmeier.
All right, and he went 7th round. That's what I'm saying.
Will?
I think I agree with that. I think I like Howard over Nussmeier, honestly, because even though,
yeah,
I mean, like not even just because they won the championship, but like you saw Will Howard do it with big time throws and big time moments,
and he could run.
He could run, yeah.
But and both of those have really been missing from Nussmeier's game. Not even just this year when he was banged up, but for the past 2 years. So I definitely would take, I think, Howard, definitely Ewers over Nussmeier. Riley Leonard, probably they're pretty similar, but I think I'd still go Riley over Nussmeier. Yeah.
And mine was with Riley is like the legs. He proved that because that him and this Will Howard with the national championship. I think for like a quarter, it was like Army versus Navy.
Yeah,
I mean they were just running. It was running. And I loved it, man. It was
10
awesome.
times on the first drive.
Yes, and they were converting. It was working, and it just pretty much one of them broke. And then Riley Leonard didn't play football for that long. He was a basketball guy, and he was kind of more of a raw talent. That's what kind of gave me with Riley Leonard, and I just liked him in between the years. That's what you prove so much with Mobile, because you're getting all the interviews. You meet with every single team. Every single team is represented. The whole coaching staff on both sides. We got big Clint Hurt on one side, which I can't wait to talk to Clint Hurt because he was in our neck of the woods in Louisville way back when under Charlie Strong's staff. So can't wait to talk to him about that. But yeah, I think Nussmeier, even compared to last year, yeah, I don't know, man. I like Quinn Ewers more than him, and I think right now, I'm gonna assume these next 3 months go really well for him. 4 months, right? I'm assuming they go really well. So I would say 7th, 6th round, right? Maybe.
Probably. That's what I'm thinking.
Right around there.
Okay, cool. All right. I do hope he has a great week. I hope he plays 6'3", even though he's 6'1", that's a thing. You can play bigger than you are. So we'll see how it happens. I'm really curious to see. I'm glad they actually got the full rosters out and see who we have paired up with as opposed just to going off the big bunch of guys who he did with our wide receiver group. So, yeah, it's going to be a heck of a time. I'm really excited. Let's get into our next group here. We have the American roster. Who is, I think I'm a little bit more excited about this roster, to say the least, really. We got Diego Pavia, who's got a storied career. Like you said, the most decorated guy coming in. Cole Payton, North Dakota State. The guy is big, athletic. Don't have a lot of tape on him for a couple reasons. Why? Because he wasn't on the field that long. And when he was on the field, he was in North Dakota State. So not a lot of people watching North Dakota State football. I don't blame you, but even though they do play good football. Then we got Sawyer Robertson, big guy out of Baylor. Dalton, you're a big Sawyer Robertson guy going into the season. You were kind of tooting his horn. Let's go ahead and start Snake right here because I want to get your thoughts on Sawyer Robertson. Let's go ahead and start with him. Dalton, give me your thoughts on Sawyer Robertson, and does he have anything to work on this week here in Mobile, or does he just have to be Sawyer Robertson? What do you think?
I mean, here's a guy whose stock could really rise just because of how many quarterbacks are in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the competition. If he comes out here and has a great week, I mean, there's no reason he couldn't be QB3. Especially if Chambliss comes back. I mean, QB3 battle to me is wide open right now. So whoever has the best lead up to the draft, I mean, him, Aller, Klubnik, I think it's a battle between them three right now. I don't love any of them. So, I mean, if Sawyer has a great week, I mean, he has the size, 6'4", 220. It's just there's questions about his arm strength, layer and throws, stuff like that. But
deep throws.
And the offensive scheme, of course, Baylor, wide open, spread. Doesn't translate much either, but I like it. His toughness, man. He's tough.
He is tough.
He never missed a game when he was named a starter. Took DeQuan Finn's job last year, so he beat out a baller. And he had great weapons at Baylor, though, as is true, too. I mean, I think anybody could have thrown to those guys. They had so many speedy guys out there, and then Michael Trigg, too.
Big Trigg.
Washington at running back. I mean, they were loaded at the skill positions. So there are already questions for him. I mean, I think he's a mid-round guy right now. But like I said, with the big week, it could be QB3, and I mean that could be second round. Teams always reach for quarterbacks. So
Always.
that's what I'm thinking. Second round if he has a great week and great lead up, but right now mid round.
Okay. And Will, what are you thinking on Big Sawyer Robertson? What are your thoughts overall on him? What anything he's got to work on? What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, so I think with this week, combine potential, pro day, like this is when he can really raise his stock because during the season, there were really good highs. There were also some lows. Like he threw for 400 three times, 393 and another one, but then he was also below 200 yards twice, 137 against Cincinnati and 162 against Arizona. So you're seeing that up and down. But when you're in kind of a controlled setting, like this week at the Senior Bowl or the Combine, you can really just show the good. And with, being 6'4", 220, being the guy who can throw over 3,600 yards and 31 touchdowns, like you can just show all that good and pitch his NFL teams on, this is what I can do. Just give me the chance to do it. Like I'm very high on him. I think he has the potential to be a really, really good player, but you have seen those up and downs a little bit where he's not the guy that he was last week. And it's like, it's losing you a game. So that up and down does worry me a little bit, but when you're in an environment like a camp, a scrimmage, a practice, or a combine, you can really just show all of the intangibles that you have that make you such an attractive prospect.
Yeah, and I know it's crazy. Call me crazy. He's got a lot of similarities to Fernando Mendoza. I think Fernando Mendoza has a little bit more zip on the ball. I like his zip more a little bit and how he layers. But Sawyer Robertson's got to work on a little bit of his deep throw accuracy because when you think big arm, you're like, all right, this guy's slinging at 60 and it's on point. Well, it's weird. It's like he can throw it far, but his worst spot is the deep ball at some point, sometimes. So, but that can be fixed, or is it too far gone? That's something I'm like, how many guys get into the league and really, really improve their deep ball? Like, how many do that? I'm not saying he can't do it. I hope he does. But, do we see guys that really do that? I'm genuinely curious. I mean, I don't think we see too many guys come in but then we have East-West offense. The day and age we are with NFL, is an NFL team even going to be forcing him to do that? Is it going to be more intermediate throws on where he goes? So is he more of a guy that, what are y'all thoughts on, can he fit in pretty much most systems in the NFL? Or is he a guy that's going to have to go to somewhere that's going to only play to his strong suits?
I think he can play most schemes. I mean, he's a sneaky runner, I think. Sneaky athleticism. He didn't run as much this year, but last year he ran quite a bit. And he had some good rushing numbers. So, I mean, I think he can if he needs to. They just didn't use that much this year. So, I mean, pretty much any system outside of, a couple like the Eagles, Ravens, teams like that. But I think he can pretty much fit in any other scheme, especially I like him West Coast offense for him.
Me too. And what do you think, Will, on just like a scheme fit, maybe a team fit, Pittsburgh maybe? And what are y'all thinking?
I agree with that a lot. I think he can play just about anything because, you've seen where he's willing to throw the ball for 400 yards in a game, rip it 35 times. But even though he didn't show it this year, he will run for 70 yards also. He's willing to put his head down and run through it. So I do think he's really versatile, which will make him even more appealing to all these teams who are getting a look at him this week. So, yeah, I think he's really versatile. I think he can play in most schemes. So, like I said, if he's able to just show what he can do at these camps, at these scrimmages, he can raise his stock pretty well.
Okay, I agree. I think he is a guy who, this quarterback class, like you said, it's dwindling down. Some of the guys are returning to school. He is a guy that, by default, he's going up, and he hasn't really thrown a ball yet. So, I mean, hey, he can really skyrocket. I mean, as soon as he gets to Mobile, get a couple of good days of practicing and really show, what he's capable of, I think he could be a good fit in a couple of teams and some schemes. Before we move on to the next player, which will be the infamous Cole Payton, what are you guys on fits? I mean, I think maybe Pittsburgh, just a spitball in there. Dalton, do you see maybe a team that would take a shot on him or just say, all right, we're going to bring him in here as a backup and develop him?
I mean, I think Atlanta would be a good fit for him. I know you like more, but he ain't coming out this year.
The next 12 months, get used to it. It's going to be me just lobbying for the Atlanta Falcons to get Dante Moore next year. I don't know. I'm not an Atlanta fan. I just think that'd be good. But, okay, you think Atlanta's a good fit?
Or Miami.
Okay.
I think Miami would be a real good fit for him, too. I mean, we don't know what they're going to do, though.
Yeah, it's crazy
they suck now. Their roster's terrible.
Close our eyes and we think that we lived in a time where it was hashtag tank for Tua, tank for Tua, tank for Tua. Now it's, man, do we got to just drop all this money for Tua and get a new guy?
They might have the worst overall roster in the league.
It's crazy.
It's worse, probably worse.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the roster's probably worse.
They've been the biggest.
It's up there with the Jets. I mean, one of them too.
Tyreek Hill situation had to work with the Dolphins. It had to.
Yeah, one good year, man. One good year.
And it didn't. So, okay, you're thinking Dolphins. All right, what do you think, Will, on maybe a potential fit? I know it's early, but what do you
Yeah.
think as part of as a fit?
I mean, maybe with like the Rams, could you just sit behind Stafford for a few years
Yeah.
and get used to that and see if that'll work out? Like that's kind of where my head first went to because like Stafford, like he's not going to run, but he doesn't blow your mind when he does, take off for 6 or 7 yards. So, I think that could be a decent fit for kind of how we've seen him play effectively in college.
Yeah, I like all those. I think, yeah, Miami. We'll see what Pittsburgh does. I mean, we don't know. When you get a new regime in there, you're going to bring in new guys. What are they going to do? Are they going to keep it same old plain Jane? Are they going to get an old quarterback, or are they going to go young? If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm flooding it with just younger guys. Maybe not all young guys, but go get me a Hendon Hooker. Go throw me a Sawyer Robertson in there, and just let them have at it. Then if all else fails, we'll call a freaking adjacent to a Phillip Rivers because whoever gives that guy a call again, you don't deserve to have a job. So
He played pretty good in one game.
Stop it. Who'd they play?
I swear he did.
Who'd they play?
I don't remember, but he played. He had a solid game, dude.
Phillip Rivers, man. And that was a wild. Is that one of the wildest stories of the NFL season?
Yeah, that's pretty. It's
Gotta be,
badass though.
Grandpa starting the quarterback.
I felt so bad. Just like
it's pretty sick.
I felt so
though.
bad for just like quarterbacks and every young quarterback.
It's cool for his grandkids though.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
That's all I'll say.
He does have grandkids. Another guy who I don't even know how to incorporate grandkids in the next guy, so I can't.
Yeah, I was like, what are you gonna say?
Well, here's another grandkid. He's a grandkid.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, he's a grandkid.
Yeah.
All these guys are grandsons.
You're right.
So I mean, Cole Payton, fellas, the big body. We have, if you're familiar with Draft Professor, we have a lot of guys in Draft Professor that really love Cole Payton. And even though I'm not the biggest Cole Payton guy, I love when people have their guy and they just love him. I mean, shout out to Hank with Santana Hopper. Those kind of guys.
Where'd he end up going?
He transferred. Yeah, where'd he go?
I forgot. That's what I was thinking.
Where
I
did he
don't know
go?
where he transferred. I'm sure. I need to get Hank's thoughts on that. But yeah, that was his guy.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a crazy big guy this year. I don't know. Maybe some O lineman. I'm trying to think. Oh, Trey Zune's my
Zune's your
guy.
guy,
I love
yeah.
Trey Zune. Trey Zune is going to prove everybody wrong, and I can't wait because he's going to move inside. So an arm length becomes less of an issue when you move inside, in my opinion. But we'll stay on topic here with Cole Payton, big guy from North Dakota State, FCS powerhouse. So who he plays for is kind of a household name with football guys, but he's not necessarily a household name. Start off with you, Will. What's your thoughts on Cole Payton? Just all the above of Cole Payton, anything under the sun. Spill your guts on Mr. Cole Payton here.
Yeah, so I mean, everything kind of looks right when you just kind of profile. I mean, 6'3", 233. He only threw for 2,700 this year, so obviously that's not something that's crazy. But I mean, 16 to 4 touchdown to pick, so you know 4 scores for every pick is pretty legit. And then 777 yards on the ground, averaging almost 6 yards per carry, and 13 more scores. So you have to worry about this guy in every facet of the game. There's not really a glaring weakness to me just on the surface level. Now, obviously, that's what all these next few months are for, but everything just kind of looks right. And if you haven't watched him play, it's hard to really look at him and be like, well, yeah, I don't like him because of this reason, because everything looks good. Now, football is not played on paper; it's not played on the stat sheet. But you look at that and combine it with his tape. There's a lot to like about him.
There is, and I think it's a lot of it's physical traits with me. Because when I locked about 2 or 3 games of him, I'm not trying to hate on him, but he really did benefit with having another NFL talent to throw to and going against guys who are not necessarily close to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the mechanical issues. I think the little low of a release, kind of Tebow-ish. That's what scares me about Drew Mestemaker, even though I love Drew Mestemaker. It's that drop of that elbow. Because time is just so damn precious.
He does drop it,
and that's cool if you're gonna do that. If you don't have the other thing that works against you, in my opinion, which is being left-handed. So when you have that drop and you're left-handed, so that brings up the Tebow with me. That's where I kind of get scared. But when you have NFL coaching and a guy who is coachable, not even in a sense of between the ears, just is not so stuck in his ways and stuck in his mechanics. So stuck in his muscle. Change this guy up. And you really don't know until you get your hands on him. I think Payton's a perfect example of that. I think he's the guy who's you don't know what you get until you get him into an actual NFL camp with NFL talent. And this is the closest we're going to get to an NFL, camp until it gets there. So that's why I love the whole, Senior Bowl setting. I think this is going to be a game plan thing. I think the scouts are going to try to either do a couple things. Want to get your guys' thoughts. Because we've seen some. Todd McShay is a guy who I really respect in the space. I mean, we grew up with watching Todd, and
Oh yeah.
and Kuiper go at it, and I've always just kind of leaned towards McShay. Just he's just less character of a character. So I brought him up because he mentioned a lot of scouts love Cole Payton as a potential tight end, and he was the first person I saw they say that, and so I like that because he's a big body, can run, got weight on him. He puts his head down, puts his shoulder down, not scared of, kind of. I would just he could be upwards. I just couldn't. Tyler Warren, man. This guy could be a Tyler Warren.
He could also be a Felipe Franks. If you move to tight end, though.
Okay, but
play 3 snaps a game. Yeah, you're on the NFL
But he's
roster,
more mobile than Felipe Franks. This guy is more of a dog than Felipe Franks. He's got more Tim Tebow in him than Felipe Franks. That's my opinion.
Against that level, though, and against SEC, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I would have loved to see him at the big. I would have loved to see it, But then again, I have to say, all right, I can't be fake because I love FCS quarterback play, and I think the top level of FCS quarterback play is just as good as a lot of G5s, and that's my opinion. The top. You got to think the top. It is, there's a drop off, and it's a big one. But a guy, in the Cole Payton, company, being at North Dakota State, he's not something we've seen come out of there. They're not churning out NFL quarterbacks. They had Cam Miller, but I don't think he finished.
He's a receiver, really.
Yeah, he got signed later in the year to. I think somebody signed him the last couple weeks. So, yeah, Cole Payton, I think, is a guy who's going to be a system guy. Are they going to throw some trick plays and have him go out for a pass? Are they going to actually have him line up at tight end some? Or are they only going to strictly have him at quarterback? I want to get your thoughts, Dalton, first on what do you think the game plan will be for Cole Payton?
I think they talk to him about it and see what he wants to do at the next level. I mean, it's about the players and
it's his choice.
Yeah. So if he wants to play quarterback all week and he wants to show that he wants to play quarterback the next level, let him do it.
Yeah.
This is his place to do it. This is not a, there's no stakes at this. It's just this is all about the player. So I think if he wants to play quarterback, you let him. If he wants to say, let me be a weapon, then design some plays for him.
Taysom Hill.
See what he can do. But yeah, it's up to him, I think, man.
Okay. What do you think, Will, is a part of a game plan and just how they're going to approach that going into the week?
I think Dalton nailed it, right? I mean, what does he want to do? What is he comfortable doing? Because at a certain point, you have to be willing to adapt if you are Payton. If a guy doesn't want you to throw, get on the field. Do a Felipe Franks.
Right.
Get on the field, get snaps, be good at something, right? Because if you're really good at one thing, a team will find a spot for you. Because, there aren't going to be, outside of quarterback, there's only 32, but there aren't necessarily always 50 or 60 guys who do a certain position who are great at it. So you just do something right. So we'll see what Cole Payton does. I do want to see him at quarterback because he's fun to play, fun to watch him play. But we will have to see what scouts think of him in terms of, could they switch over? Because if I'm him, obviously you want to play quarterback, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to do what the scouts and coaches will want you to do.
Exactly.
That's
what I want to say. Exactly.
I'm also worried about. I know it's an FCS thing. We had 5 good FCS quarterbacks in the last 25 years.
And FCS is not
Wentz.
Yeah, but I think FCS is rich in quarterback play and big time DNs, O linemen, D linemen, but DBs is not one of them. And maybe I'm wrong.
No, DB's definitely not. You're right.
I really don't think that is. I'm not trying to hate, but I've watched some guys.
There's 1 or 2 DBs a year drafted in FCS.
Because Lance is what's his guy? Lance is his receiver. Trey Lance's brother.
Yeah, Trey Lance's brother.
What's his first name?
Damn.
Cole, what's his first name? But okay, big Lance. Well, he throws the Lance, and I would see some of these guys who's going up against him, and it has to be cornerback one. It's usually their best guy, and they would be just really little guys. And I think DB's getting bigger. I mean, DB's getting bigger by the year at the P4 level, NFL level. So to see some of the guys they were going up against, that's the only questions I have. But that is the beauty of the Senior Bowl. We get to finally see this guy go up against studs. So I think he's a guy that's going to benefit. The stock, I think, is going to go high. I think he will start off as a quarterback for sure, but I think he could really benefit as a Taysom Hill guy. It's man, calling yourself an NFL player, that's a brag and a card you can pull like no other, right? I mean, that's the top of the top. You're an NFL player. Calling yourself an NFL quarterback is a whole nother thing. I understand that. But it's not bad calling yourself a max contract tight end. I mean, couldn't he be would you rather go the quarterback play, kind of bounce around, not know where your next year is going to happen, where your next home is going to be, it might work out. You might get a 2-3 year deal. It might happen. Or you could go maybe, I think this guy could be a tight end and just be a freaking dog. I really do. Could he? I'm a Packers fan. Let's take him over Musgraves or something. I mean, I don't know. Like, dude, I really like Cole Payton just in his athlete. But
You
with
need
the
to put on.
quarterback,
You had to put on 15 pounds at least.
hey, he could do it.
Well, yeah, but not everybody can do it. Keep the same athleticism, mobility. You never know.
Oh, Tim Tebow?
And who knows if he can catch or block. I mean, it's not easy playing tight end.
I know, you're
That's
right.
why you've only seen like 2
You're right.
quarterbacks do it. Logan Thomas did it, and
But
he's the only guy who's really successful.
And I will say the only reason I even because that's what McShay said. It's not something that when I watched this film, I'm like, ooh, I think he could be a tight end. I'm not saying that. When I watched the film, I'm like, okay, he could be an NFL quarterback. But when I heard McShay bring that up, I kind of started to look into it. Like, all right, are they just saying something crazy, or could this work? Because that's not the first thing I thought of when I seen Cole Payton. I do respect him as a quarterback. So
I mean,
want to give him.
it's hard to block ever. And if you never blocked until you're 21,
yeah,
it's really hard to
with
block.
all these 2 tight end sets, he might ever have to block. Just go out for some passes, or just use some chips. Does Taysom Hill block when he's a tight end?
Not really, no.
It's
We ain't really a tight end. He's a weapon, man.
I know. I think this guy could be a weapon.
It could be a weapon.
I think he could be a weapon. I think he's a guy that could be used as such. And we're going to talk about next guy. That's why we did a snake, because we'll probably talk about this guy for the longest. I mean, Diego Pavia. Look at the stats here, fellas. Started off his career. He was at New Mexico, military college. That was the JUCO. That the years didn't count, and that's kind of the reason he was playing. So I wish I'd have got those stats from that year because he won the national championship. So shout out to him. But went to New Mexico State, finally got there. The stats only got better, in my opinion. Then, I wish I'd have got his rushing stats, put him on here, but really one of the only guys who got a good amount of rushing stats. It's really hard for me because I wasn't big on Pavia, but now I look at it, I'm like, this guy could really benefit from Senior Bowl. He can benefit from a couple things. The quarterback class being kind of dumbed down, right? Kind of being watered down. He could benefit from getting coached by some NFL guys. And I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here because we're going to see him. I think some guys, it doesn't click until they see the NFL logos. It just wasn't clicking for him. I don't think he's like a college coach. I don't think could tell him too much, but I think an NFL coach maybe could. I think once he gets into the room with some of those GMs and meeting with some of these teams, he might actually be like, all right, and say, what do I need to do, and ask them as opposed to just getting told. But start off with you, Will. You guys are SEC guys. I'll defer to you guys for pretty much the rest here. I know y'all kind of big on Pavia, in my opinion. I mean, I think y'all are kind of both pretty pro Pavia. Start off with Will. What are your thoughts overall on Pavia? What's your expectations for him, and just everything you got?
Yeah, this guy was my Heisman this year. Just what he was doing numbers wise,
Same.
I mean, what you saw him do in the air and on the ground, just numbers wise, was statue was incredible. Then he actually cut the tape on some of these throws that he made downfield, rolling out off balance across your body, and he just hits a guy 45 yards downfield in stride. I saw him in person when Vanderbilt played Auburn at home, and just that game they started off slowly, and then there's a fumble. Keldrick Falk Auburn picks it up. Pavia gets in his face. I think he's missing 5 inches and 80 pounds on Keldrick Falk. He got in his face and rallied the whole team, and they won that game. He just has that about him to where not only is he going to be that galvanizing force around your team that fires them up and makes them all want to go play harder, he's also going to throw for 370 and 4 touchdowns. Against the best defenses he played. Against Texas, he threw for 365 and 3 touchdowns. Against Missouri, who I thought was a good defense, he played pretty bad at home. But then, Kentucky threw for 484. Iowa, which is always a good defense, threw for 347. He has these really good numbers. Obviously, some down games also given the level of competition that he played. But you look at some of these where the highs are. I was never really worried about his consistency like I was with Sawyer Robertson, right? Because he still had his 70% completion rate. So there were the ups and downs, but it wasn't really to a fault. This guy's just so fun to watch play. Ran for 862 yards and 10 more scores. He can be a little bit reckless at times, trying to play hero ball, doing things that maybe don't really make sense for anyone to try to do. But the times that he does pull it off, it's just you can't take your eyes off it. This guy's one of the most fun players I can remember watching.
Man, and I will say, I agree. I think I was wrong on him. I will say, I'll hand up. I think I was wrong on Diego Pavia. And when I laughed there when you said he's my Heisman, now I respect it because I laughed because, man, I think you're all right. I really do think you all are right. Was it just the character issues why he didn't get the Heisman? Was it just that? Did Mendoza just get it off being one undefeated, being a part of probably the greatest story in college? I get that. But Diego Pavia got a crazy story too. I mean, Diego Pavia got a documentary as well, dudes. I mean, was it just the character on both ways? Did Mendoza just get it because he's such a clean cut, nice guy? We love this guy. And Diego, did he just not get it because he wasn't what they wanted to be represented as a Heisman winner? But what are your thoughts, Dalton? Give me your synopsis there on Diego Pavia.
I think the Heisman thing, it's becoming more of a team award every year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're undefeated and you're in the race, you're gonna win it. Like that's what it seems like. Last year there wasn't a guy on the team that was really good that's worthy of it. That's why it was Travis Hunter and Genty. But this year, I mean, most years we see that now. It's a team award. I mean, best player in the best team wins it most of the time.
Yeah,
now,
he got it.
so.
He got his tight end, the Mackey, right? Sowers, right?
Stowers, yeah, he lost Stowers.
He did.
But man, Diego is. I love him as a player.
Me too.
I love him on the field.
I love him now as a
I love him
player.
as a college player.
Yeah.
Man, he's 5'9", man.
It's.
I know it's competitive. I know it's competitive.
He's listed at 6 foot.
Right, I know what
we
he's
will get the official measurements. That's why we love the Senior Bowl, man. That's the first thing they do because they get there a couple days earlier than we do, obviously. And that's the first thing they do is before they do all the cool little pictures and stuff and make the trading cards, which is awesome. I can't wait. They get their actual measurements. So it's like, all right, we're here for fun, but let's see what the tail of tapes are. And I'm really curious to see how that comes out. But yeah, I'm trying to think of comps for him. I've been trying to do that this past couple weeks. Is he more like a Connor Shaw? What is this guy? What is Diego Pavia? Is he an anomaly? Have we never seen this?
I'm trying to think of a prospect.
And I'm just trying to think of fits. I'm trying to think. Obviously, the off the field stuff it didn't help, and it hurt his draft stuff. But I'll tell you right now, if this guy goes and rips it in Mobile, he's going to be right back up to where he was pre-Heisman, in my opinion. And that's before the pro day. That's before the combine. If he needs to have I'm rooting for him in a sense. He needs to do all the events. He needs to work out for every team. He needs to go throw for every single team. He needs to go be putting. And then we're in an information age. We're in the tech age. Every player, especially quarterback, should be posting their own videos of them doing board work, them doing film work, their own stuff. Gruden does all that stuff. If I was a quarterback trying to make it to the league, I would be posting my own stuff like that. So I hope someone's in his ear. I hope he has a good PR team around him. But Dalton, what is your thoughts on the stuff? Is there anything they're going to try to maybe fine tune and find out about Diego, or are they going to? Is there any throws that you don't think he can make, or what are they going to try to work on?
I mean, you got to make him throw in the pocket. You got to see if he can with his height. I mean,
Yeah.
he can throw outside the pocket, but you can't do that every time in the league.
Yeah.
They'll make you stay in the pocket. I mean, they do that all the time to quarterbacks that are good at running. They'll make you stay in the pocket instead. So, I don't know. That's just the height thing is huge for me, man.
Me too.
Especially nowadays, I talk about it all the time. There's more batted passes now than ever. I mean, there's 5 or 6 a game now, and that's for guys that are 6'4", 6'5". I mean,
Right.
the 5'10" guy could, 10 batted passes a game. You can't deal with that.
It's like a part of the D line's regimented. It's like if you're not on some plays, it's just like, all right, if your first move don't work, jump.
I mean,
Put your hands up. It's
sometimes
not.
they don't
It's
even do a
not.
first
It's not
move.
go to a second move. It's not then rely on a crazy spin. It's if that rip doesn't work, if that spin doesn't work,
Put your hands up.
if that bull rush doesn't work, throw your freaking hands up and get up. And I think that's what's getting taught now, and you make a good point with that. But fellas, I know with the more intermediate passing with the NFL, the game the passing game at least becomes more in the middle of the field because the hashes are more narrower. Are we going to see them use some more intermediate throws than we're not expecting, or are they just going to see can this guy lace it deep and on the outside? What do you think? We'll start off with Will.
Yeah, I think you kind of want to see all of it, especially for a guy
Yeah.
like Diego who's a little smaller. You need to see it with your own eyes. Can you get the ball everywhere? Can you really make every throw? Because you can't just sort of have a niche of where you're kind of throwing the ball in the NFL, because then these teams and coaches are really going to take that away and they're going to beat you and make it do someone else. So the hash point is really good because I think it just sort of stresses the idea he's got to be able to do a lot of things. Which, granted, you saw him do a good bit in college, but you got to be consistent, doing everything, throwing the ball everywhere, from everywhere, mainly in the pocket. So I do think you'll see a lot of that with Diego, especially with teams and scouts making him prove that he can throw it everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think what they'll do, I think they're going to try to see what he can do with some of these big guys. Like you said, he's going to have to just throw that thing up a lot of times because of his height. But Fitz, I don't know about Fitz. In my opinion, I really don't have a fit for him right now.
See, I don't think there's fits for backups personally. I just don't see him as a starter.
Yeah.
So I don't like the fit talk.
Just kind of get in where you fit in, literally,
Yeah,
just wherever you can possibly go. Because they're not going to tailor a system around you because you're a backup. You're going to have to whatever system you fall in. That's what you're going to have to try to work towards and get better at. I get that, but what kind of brings up to my last question with Diego. I mean, we've seen this guy because look at Sawyer Robertson. We're like, all right, this is a guy, a pocket guy. And he's throwing just around the same yards as Diego. And he's a guy who's running around, making all these plays. So that's where it gives me hope for him. It's like you're doing numbers-wise what these pocket guys are doing, and then even better on with being mobile and on the ground. So you make a good point. Yeah, there's not really a lot of fits, but
I just can't see him starting like more than 16 games in his career personally. A full season's worth.
But man, I just think even being a serviceable backup and just being somebody they rely on, that's still it's still hard to do.
No, for sure.
It's still so hard.
He could be a good team rallier or leader if he gets his shit together.
I
guess he'd be really good for the locker room.
And then my last question on him is: Diego Pavia better than Dillon Gabriel? Start off with you.
Yeah, I do. Okay. I think so. But I don't Dillon Gabriel should have been a UDFA last year.
But Dillon Gabriel's going to be in the league for how many more years? Then we'll ask Will. All right.
I don't know if he gets a second contract.
So 2 more years?
I really don't know if anybody's going to sign him.
You got 2 more years on Dillon Gabriel.
What did he get? 2 or 3? He probably got 4 years, right? He's 3 more years.
I don't hate it.
I don't know if anybody's going to pick him up. If they do, it's going to be like a third stringer, not a second. He's not good.
Okay, and then Will,
he has no arm strength. He's short. He can't run.
And we're not. And then I'm not saying that. Okay, he's better. He's automatically a third rounder. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying I'm just saying he's going to be in the league.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the league next year.
Yeah.
He will be on a roster. Okay, and Will, where do you think as comparison to Dillon Gabriel? I'm not really comparing him as a height thing, just so if a talent overall. What do you think? Is he better or worse than Gabriel?
I like him a lot better. I like him a good bit better. And in terms of the fit debate, I want to see him do what Baker Mayfield did. I want to see him go to Tampa and learn to Mayfield. Because, you go back to Baker when he was in college, he had his own fair share of issues, too. He was grabbing his nuts on ESPN at Kansas sideline. He had those issues, too. And you kind of saw him get to the pros. And through what through his own journey, you see him really develop into this more mature guy who's still really fiery. He'll still talk your ear off, which is awesome. But I think Pavia could do that exact same thing. And he plays like Baker wants to play. And you saw Baker develop out of what he did in Oklahoma to more of an NFL-tailored play style. So I think he could do what Baker Mayfield does, get him in Tampa, let him be behind Baker for a while. Then maybe he's able to take his job in the few years. So we'll see. If there was a fit, in my mind, it is Tampa, but we'll see where he ends up, obviously.
I agree, and I like Tampa because that opens up an amazing fit because guess who I had for Chambliss? I thought Chambliss would really benefit at a place like Tampa, and that's where I thought maybe he would look. It just really puzzles me that we're not talking about Chambliss next up, or we just got done talking about Chambliss being in Mobile. It really puzzles me on, is it a him thing? Does he not have the right people in his ear? I think, that's, these days with the NIL, that's becoming more important than ever is who you got in your ear, who you got around. Look at Darian Mensah. Was that a Darian Mensah decision? Was that someone just around him? Or is that solely all right, that's a lot of damn money. I can't pass it up. So I think Pavia will be in the league. We don't know where, obviously. Yeah, that's where I've always banged my head on the table and fist on the table for expansion. I think we should have been having 34 teams. Quarterback may maybe be the only reason why we don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
There's not 32 good quarterbacks. So there can't be 34 good ones.
There's going to be in the next couple of years.
I don't think so.
I think the quarterback position is
getting
better.
Good one comes in, a good one leaves. Stafford's about to leave.
Yeah.
Good point. But, okay, good Stafford.
Who else is old?
Stafford going to win MVP, guys. Do you think Stafford's an MVP?
Lamar's getting washed, too.
Drake May or Stafford for MVP? What do you think?
Stafford. Drake May had it too easy for schedule.
Stafford. What do you think? Stafford? I got Stafford.
He's had the easiest schedule in NFL history, he said. So.
You said what?
Patriots had the easiest schedule in NFL history.
Really?
Yeah, they beat one team over 500 or something, and they won 14 games, bro.
Well, I don't know
if we'll play Jarrett Stidham in the AFC Championship.
Right.
God,
and the Texans were banged up too.
I actually like the Jarrett Stidham.
Texans are real banged up. They had a cakewalk this year. If they end up winning the Super Bowl, they earned it. Just because the Seahawks defense is It's like a 2000 Ravens vibes right now. They might carry Donald to a ship for real.
I think, and then as is with all of these guys here, a couple of these guys might end up on a contender, and we never know. They might be Jared Stidham next year and coming in,
Yeah.
and we just really never know. One snake back before we ended on the the roster here for the American. We got Cole Payton, Diego Pavia, Sawyer Robertson. I like how they've paired these guys. I will say, I really do. I like the Altmyer as well. We'll get that graphic ready, but want to get your final thoughts here on the first group with Altmyer. We'll bring up the guys with the stats here. Anything we missed we want to clean up on this group? In my opinion, the American team's got the advantage head over, and I think by a lot, in my opinion. But anything we want to touch off on before we end it here, starting off with you, Will?
I mean, I kind of already said it, but like Taylen Green, I think is the highest ceiling guy I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of things to tune up. I think he's the most exciting guy on this national group right here. I would probably, no, that's a lie. If I was a GM, Taylen Green would get me into a lot of trouble. I'd probably draft Taylen first of these three guys for sure. He's the highest ceiling guy, such an alien of an athlete. Just got to clean that stuff up, and we'll see if he's able to, show that in Mobile, and then when he gets into on a pro team, can he keep developing? So I'm so excited for Taylen Green. Probably not that much for Nussmeier. I think Altmyer, we kind of said it, but I think he can be a really good number 2 guy for someone for a long time.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And Dalton, what do you think about this national team roster before we end up on the quarterback side? Anything we missed and you just kind of want to reiterate?
No, not really. I mean, I want to see if Nussmeier's healthy and if he can actually sling it, or if he's as bad as he looked this year. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I got to see that.
That was my biggest question. That was kind of why I brought it up. Fellas, is Nussmeier healthy in your opinions? Do you think he's going to be ready to go? Think is he good to go?
I mean, if not, he shouldn't be playing in it because you're going to hurt your stock even more than it's already hurt if you're hurt.
What was I truly don't know. What was the injury, Will? I mean, was
oblique,
it a
right?
forearm?
Yeah, he had an oblique thing at the beginning of the year that he was like playing through, and then just through the season of how bad that O-line was, he just kept getting hurt everywhere else.
Yeah.
But the main thing was the oblique. I do think he'll be fine now because he sat out the last 3 games of the year because he was able to play in those, but he had no reason to. Right. So I think he sat out. I think he got healthy. So he should be good to go once we see him next week.
I got you. I agree. And I think, it's all about, all right, what you going to do? Because, you're a guy that goes in with more interceptions than Taylen Green. You got a lot of picks he's throwing in a gunslinger mentality. And when you have that gunslinger mentality, they want to see a long list of production. And he unfortunately doesn't have that. So he's going to have to put together everything. Like I said, from here on out, he's going to have a perfect, process. And in my opinion, we can pretty much say that for every single one of these quarterbacks because it's an uphill climb, I think, for all of them except for Sawyer. Sawyer's kind of like he's kind of starting off right now as like the highest up, right?
In this game, I mean, I think so.
So. What do you think, Will? Your highest quarterback on
this
your
game,
board?
Yeah.
I would say it's Sawyer. I mean, my personal board is Taylen Green, but that's not real. I mean, yeah, probably Sawyer, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. And I think who could be I think Altmyer's going to rip it. I think Altmyer's going to have a big week.
Yeah,
I really do think
me
he
too.
is.
Me too.
Because that through the air process, he's a guy that's going to really process that because everything else he does well. The only thing I have is like kind of staring down his targets. Some of the times he kind of was able to get away with DBs not being as fast and able to break on balls on some of them, just kind of staring down his target. And you definitely can't. We all know you can't do that on next level. So, I think we all have to kind of share the same sentiments here, which is cool. So shout out. I think we all have the, we're not having, banging. We're not saying one of these guys is a surefire first rounder, like he's my first rounder. As opposed, I don't do too much content with Anthony Russo, but do you all know how high he actually has him? Just curious. Is it like, what's his grade? If it's like a day 2 guy, maybe.
For who?
For Anthony Russo, he's a really big Cole Payton guy.
Oh yeah.
I was just wondering, like, who do we know out of all the guys that cover the sport, who has him the highest? And what is that? What is the highest? Who has him? Wondering. Well, I should maybe thought that before, but I think the biggest Cole Payton fan out there, whoever that may be, may have him at what, 3rd round, 4th, right?
Probably around there, right? I would say 3rd has got to be the earliest. That even if I was the biggest sunshine pumper, that's probably what it would be.
Yeah, that's earliest for sure.
Okay. And then as we don't know what's going to happen, I have really scared and kind of hopeful that another quarterback, if maybe it gets added at the end, because remember, and I'm going to murk his last name, but Taylor Egslimoff, the guy from Canada, he was added very late.
Somebody dropped out though. That's why he got added.
Okay.
It wasn't like he swapped for somebody. I forgot who it was last year. But
And I don't think we might see somebody.
it was Howard dropped out,
Did he drop out?
Mhm.
Okay.
and it was he replaced Howard, so that was last minute.
And Hennigan was a late add-on, but I think he was still on the roster at this point last year. So, yeah, I
And
just
somebody
trying to
dropped
think.
out.
Am I crazy or you think this is set in stone? This
I don't
is the
think they want
sixth?
more than 3 on each team. No,
But is this the sixth? Do you think we might not see anybody get swapped out?
nah.
No.
I mean, unless a player wants to set out, but all these guys they can't. I mean, they're not first rounders, so I can't see any of these guys setting out.
They all need it. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And then even if all of them have a perfect 2 days of practice, I don't think any of them sit out the game.
No, not
right?
these guys.
No.
No.
Yeah.
They need all the filmmaking, good reps they can get, man.
I agree. So yeah, that's awesome, man. I think obviously we would hope some of our favorite guys this year, but some of my favorite guys are just not in this class. So I can't be too mad of who we got in Mobile. I think we're all going to come away from Mobile with higher regards for all these guys.
I hope so.
I think so. It's really hard to be horrible in this setting, but even then, Jalen Milroe and Dylan Gabriel, in my opinion, my personal stock in them did fall after Mobile. I will say this. I don't see any of it falling for any of these guys. Maybe. I mean,
No,
right?
probably not this year. I mean, they have to play really bad.
Really bad. And it's hard to play because what's the ceiling? For most of them, we have 5th rounders, right? It's like Gabriel and Milroe, a bunch of those guys had them 2nd rounders, like early 3rds, and we walked away from Mobile like, I don't know if they're 5th rounders.
Yeah, no, we didn't like either one of them.
So, but I don't think we have that in this class. I think all of them we're going to say, man, they ripped it. Should somebody take a 4th rounder flyer on them? So I think that's a good boat to be in because it's pretty much, it's a happy-go-lucky boat. We're going to see some guys really show out and make some money for them. And Will, really can't thank you enough for joining on the coverage. Every Monday you can catch Will here on part of Tailgate Talk SEC. We'll go ahead and get some plugs in. I know we don't talk too much, about what you do, Will. So fill the people in just on what you coverage and where they can find you.
Yeah, so I try and cover men of the SEC, but really all college football. I'm on Twitter at WThomasSports and then Tailgate Talk SEC on YouTube, podcast everywhere else. But a lot of portal stuff. I'll be, doing one video for each SEC team summarizing all the portal adds and losses. So trying to make it as simple as possible because it's chaos. So just doing a whole lot of that right now.
I was just about to say, you've been a portal warrior, dude. And I said, you was at the Vanderbilt game. You're like, all right, I'm taking a break from portal coverage finally because it's really hard. You're going to miss something. You just know it. When you put your phone down, you're going to miss some portal, but it's okay. It's finally kind of winding down. We can kind of end that on some portal talk. If anybody, sticking around talking about some portal, shout out to you. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. But Jordan Seaton, guys, and Mensa, get your thoughts. Are they going to team up at Miami? Are they going to go their separate ways? I know Seaton is taking the visit, which will be today there at Oregon. What's your thoughts on that whole situation I know you guys are Florida Gator fans, kind of have to watch for, your in-state guys because Miami's playing for a natty. Are they going to get Darian Mensa and Jordan Seaton? Start off with you, Will.
I would lean right now Seaton ends up somewhere else. I think he's probably either LSU or Oregon. I think it's interesting that he visited Mississippi State because that didn't make any sense. And it just came out. So I don't really know how much money State has to throw at him. But if it's comparable, I mean, he went there for a reason. So he clearly likes either it's Levy or the coaches or the environment there. So Mensa's obviously going to Miami. I mean, that feels just about as certain as anything else. Yeah. But I would assume that Seaton probably ends up somewhere else.
Okay. I think right now, man, I'm totally at a coin flip because I would love to see him in Oregon. I'm an Oregon guy. I mean, they would be absolutely loaded there. But Mississippi State thing, I think he only went there because of the coach that's there now, the O-line coach, Phil Lodeholt. That's who coached him at Colorado last year. And I'm just like, I get that, but why would you go just because you're cool with a coach? It's like
that's why I think there might be something there.
Yeah, it could be.
But it would shock me. But there has to be something there where it's like, it's more than just I'm cool with this guy. Like I'm gonna go hear him out for a minute. So.
Who's their guy next year?
They got a quarterback though.
Who is it?
Kamario Taylor.
Yeah, Kamario Taylor. Yeah, young guy.
Dog.
It's so good.
He is good.
He got hurt though, like ACL or something bad though, in the bowl. So I don't know. He might not be back week 1. I don't know.
Good point.
But he's very talented.
He is. You're like, is that enough? Because that reminds me of like Lenore Sellers, and Lenore Sellers didn't even. Jordan Seaton should have done this last year and gone to South Carolina with Lenoris. And it's like, I don't know. I think Oregon, in my opinion, if I had to pick, I think it's going to be Oregon. And then I like bringing on Mensa because He's coming from Duke, left there last minute. Our guy, Terry Walker, incoming freshman quarterback at Duke. We've had him on the program. Is he going to be the starter now? Is our boy Terry going to start year one? So, I mean, he just went live just a second ago. I want to go back and see what he said because I don't know. I said, go get it, man. I texted him 2 days ago. I said, just go and take it because there's a chance that Terry's going to be the starting quarterback at Duke next year. What do you think, Dalton, on your thoughts? Is Jordan Seaton and Mensa going to end up at Miami, or what are your thoughts?
Miami's already paying us $10 million apparently, so I don't think they could
$10
afford
million?
Mensa, yeah.
For Mensa, yeah.
God.
Yeah, a guy that couldn't beat Tulane. Yeah, great investment.
But he's good.
Anyways.
He didn't have any help.
He still had a better team than Tulane, bro. On paper, I swear.
But he would be
Keyshawn Brown, Cooper
he would be
Barkate, Nick
quarterback 2 in
Shepard.
this draft, right? I would take Mensa quarterback 2 in this draft.
I mean, probably, yeah.
I would. I really would.
I mean, Ty Simpson or him. Yeah, I probably like him. I like him more than Ty.
I like him more than Ty as well. So
Well,
that's
either
what I'm
way.
saying. So, and I'm still saying he's not worth $10 million. Let's make that clear. I don't think no quarterback's worth $10
He
million.
couldn't beat Joe Pignano either. And you ain't gonna tell me UConn's better.
UConn. Hey, they lost more though, so they're done.
So he couldn't beat Joe Pignano or his old school. I mean, yeah, he's talented, but don't make this team better. Clearly.
So sounds like he needs a guy like Jordan Seaton. Do you think that happens at all, or no? What do you think Jordan
I
Seaton?
can't see it having that much money. I mean, damn, I know they got
Miami
$10
will have
million.
the line anyways too. Like
I swear they always got the line.
Do you know how much NIL?
They got to worry about their deal.
I mean, they have to
revamping.
They have to have been raking in NIL bonuses or just bonus money off even being this deep run in the playoffs and making it to the Natty. If they pull it off and win it, that's more money for NIL, right? I mean, that's got to be just. I don't know. I don't see that. Obviously, if they can throw $10 million overnight to a guy, which obviously it was tampering, we get it. But I'm sure whatever Jordan Seaton's running, they got it. They got it. I'm sure they can go flip over some couches and find it. I mean, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess.
Where do you think Seaton ends up, I guess? What I'm asking.
Probably LSU, man.
He visited LSU.
That's just my gut feeling, but I hope not. Shit. Go to Oregon.
I love Lane. It's a win-win for me.
Lane's a real punk now. No, I'm off the Lane train now.
Why?
For real. You didn't see what he did this week, bro?
No.
You didn't see what he did this week?
No, I want to hear it.
Oh my god. He leaked he's the one that leaked the contracts for Ole Miss players.
He's a dog.
He was just because he's fake. If he wasn't fake, it'd be cool. He was just cheering him on at the playoff game.
If he doesn't,
and then he goes and does that, man.
If he doesn't R somebody or kill him, I am all for Lane Kiffin.
That's when Deshaun Womack hit the portal. TJ Daugherty. That's when they hit the Payton Lee. It's because he leaked the contract. Oh, we didn't get paid as much as them. So he's a punk, man.
This is what happens when you don't let him coach the team. That's all you had to do was let him coach the
games. Well, don't
be
fake, though. Go to the game as a fan and post a flag, and then the next day you go and leak all the information. Come on.
So, okay, I'm sorry, because I got in Lane defense mode. I'm not going to lie. What did he do again?
So, basically, he told the Ole Miss players.
Okay.
He leaked the contract information of, everybody.
The players or the coaches?
So, the players. So
the salaries
they had
of the players?
Yeah, they had 3 or 4 studs.
That should be public anyway.
They had 3 or 4 studs hit the portal this week. Well, maybe it should be, but it's not.
So Lane just was being a good guy?
I guess not the point.
So Lane's being a good guy?
Oh,
is that what you're saying? Is Lane just being a good guy here?
Hero. He's just being nice to him.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just wants to...
this guy's getting more than you. You should transfer.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, great guy.
I feel bad for Lane Kiffin. He's been getting drugged through the freaking...
I was honest. I didn't say nothing bad till now. So.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the whole Lane?
I think
he does like being the villain,
yeah.
What's your expectation? I mean, is he's got Sam Levitt. He's got the only quarterback that has playoff experience, right? That hit the portal. What's your thoughts on Lane right now? Because, I mean, it's all going to be Lane talk for the next couple of months in SEC land.
I'm worried about his run game, personally. Harlan Berry and Caden Durham both coming back, but neither one of them produced at all this year. So I'm worried about the run game. I mean, he got some good receivers coming in, of course. Jace Brown, Trey Wilson from Florida. But I'm worried about the run game and the O-line, too. He didn't really bring in much in the O-line either.
I think he portaled in 10 receivers at this point.
Yeah,
just totally redoing that room.
Well, they had to. I mean, they were replacing Nick Anderson, Barryon Brown. They were replacing Aaron Anderson, and they're replacing Chris Hilton. So I mean, they had to really. And Kyle Parker hit the portal, so they lost 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he didn't have a choice.
I hope Lane shows up to Mobile. He didn't last year. Broke my heart.
True.
But he probably no.
Probably not this year.
That's
not this year, dude. Maybe next year at LSU when he's got a full year. He ain't going this
Man,
year.
It's just so crazy to see two big fish like Mensa and Jordan Seaton enter at the end, man. Like they're really.
I
good
mean,
players.
Miami really.
They're really good at football.
Miami like really legitimately tampered though. Like we say
Yeah.
something's tampered. No, they actually like that's definition textbook.
But
Which
did
hey,
they-
if you don't get in trouble, everybody should do it. Shit.
Does that not red flag you though for Mensa? It's like
No, it doesn't. If I get 10 million, I'm going leaving too. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if
I don't care where I'm
kid.
at.
I don't really blame Mensa. I didn't really blame Demond Williams either. Like you can't blame the kid. You got to blame the system that's allowing them to get all this money thrown in their faces.
I swear.
Without a second under the table.
But does that worry you from Mensa? It's like, yes, you are throwing me 10 million, but you all couldn't get nobody. Like, why are you calling me this late? Is that not, would that not like
right?
Like, why are you're in the national championship and you're scrambling this late? Why?
I mean,
would that not worry you a little bit?
I'd be worried, but I'd be worried
because you hitting me up this late is telling me I was not your first option, right?
Or second.
I don't know.
Third.
He might have been their own.
Right.
He might.
You could have because tampering is one thing, but you could have tampered with me last month.
But to be in Miami's defense, we didn't really hear any rumors about them and any of the big quarterbacks.
But we still didn't. But we still we still didn't know who their quarterback was going to be.
I know, but I'm just saying they didn't. I don't think they scheduled a visit with Levitt or Shoresby or Lagway or
we all
Levitt
forgot.
Raiola.
Levitt did go there.
Levitt did.
Levitt did. Yes, he did. He did.
I think that's the only visit of the
You're right.
quarterbacks.
Right, only one. Right.
That's a good point. That's a
So
good
I mean,
point.
it could be their second.
It's not like
choice.
they were like in open bids because all the stuff's leaked. We know who teams wanted.
Yeah, I mean, he honestly could have been their second choice.
Hmm.
If he's only had one visit and it was Levitt, I mean,
It might have been right.
Could have been the second
that
choice.
Could be right. That could
and if
be
you're
right.
giving 10 million, I mean, who knows? They could have been their first
they
choice.
were just like, yo, it's Levitt or Mensa, and we will wait till we find out what Levitt does.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The second choice. I mean,
because they always had and that's such a crazy thing. It's like, all right, we're gonna wait to the last minute for our number one, and if that doesn't work out, we're gonna pull our back pocket out in our checkbook and go get anybody, and we're getting this guy. And they landed on Mensa. So I think it's good. I like this for Terry. Shout out to Terry.
Hey, it looks good for shout out John Summerall for finding Mensa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Saying he was really under-recruited.
Summerall, okay. You gotta give Summerall some love.
Really under-recruited guy.
Before we end it out here, fellas, what do y'all think of Summerall? I mean, is the high hopes in Gatorland, or what is it? Is it all sitting on this new quarterback?
Man, I've seen people doing early schedule predictions, and I've seen us anywher from 10-2 to 6-6. So I mean, we're all over the place.
10-2. What was that? GatorChomp.com?
No, it was like some guy for 2 on 3 or some shit. I swear, it wasn't no Gator hate. It's Central guy. But if you look at it, our skill position is up there with the best in the country. Not even the SEC in the nation. We just got it. The quarterback has to hit Trammell or Fallow. One of them got to hit. And if they do, our skill positions are set up perfectly. And we're just going to have our defense play average to, get 8 wins. And I'd be happy with 8 wins year one. And I'm already happy with the portal. He's done a better job in year one than Napier did in all 4 of his years. I mean, Parazol ended up being a hit, but he wasn't supposed to be. Like, when he got him, he wasn't a, nobody wanted Parazol in the portal. He was like the 50th ranked receiver. Same with Elijah Badger. The guy he hit on the portal were lucky. Jim DK, nobody wanted him either. Like these guys ended up producing. Maybe it's a little bit of talent finding, but a lot of it was luck, I think. So I like it. Singleton is the better guy that he got in the portal ever, and he's in year one. So I'm excited for him.
What do you think, Will? What is the things in Will Thomas's mind is for the Gators? Are expectations high, or what are you thinking?
I mean, Indiana proved that you can do this in 1 year. And if you look at Florida's roster, like, first off, I challenge anybody to find a better trio wide receiver. And I really challenge someone to find a legitimate hole on Florida's roster where it's not in the, upper echelon of the country. Like, the team is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Brought Jaden Woods back on the edge. You have a good your linebackers and Miles Graham and Aaron Childs. You have a bunch of dogs at DB, and the offense is what the offense is, like we talked about. Like, the roster is there. And Summerall, like he's proven that he has the ability to coach, the in games. He won the American won a bunch of games with Tulane. Like, there's really no reason why they can't go out and win 9 games next year and be in the playoff conversation. Like, Indiana showed that it's possible. And the schedule for Florida next season is still hard, but it's much easier than it has in the past 2 years.
So much easier.
There's really no reason to not be excited about, okay, let's go win at least 8. We have the team to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's workable. Like, it's very possible.
We should win 8, honestly. If we don't, all right, bad year, bad first year.
Yeah. Okay, so 8. So 8's pretty much the number here, the average number, right?
If we win, go 7-5, I'm like decent year. For 6-6 or worse, though, it's like bad first year, dude. Because you had the better roster.
Y'all play Kentucky this year?
Yeah, we play at Kentucky again somehow, which is fire. I'll be there.
That's good. I want to go.
All right.
I want to go.
All right.
Let's go.
Well, I get free tickets all the time because
Well-
Jen got season tickets. My sister. So
I'm trying to go. I haven't been to a Kentucky game since Teddy Bridgewater was inserted in mid game to be the starter.
Oh.
Over Will Stein. Will Stein was
Yeah,
taken
yeah.
out of the game and no, swear to God. And Teddy Bridgewater was put in because Danny Trevathan was on Kentucky. Danny Trevathan, absolute dog. And yeah, that's the last time I've been at a Kentucky game.
I don't think
Teddy Bridgewater and Will Stein. That'll be a full circle moment.
I haven't missed a Kentucky Florida game there since the year Tebow got knocked out. That was the first one I was at. I haven't missed one since. The year, yeah. That's when I started hating Kentucky.
That's the big goal for me for this channel off season. I want to get Tim Tebow on.
Man, Will was young, he was young, and I guess when Tebow was playing, but Kentucky was cheering.
You remember Tebow?
Yeah. How about I'm about 14.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a little bit of credit here.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
He's hell yeah.
I do remember
he
that.
graduated.
I do remember that Kentucky game too when he got knocked out. Like
Yeah,
that's
okay,
one of my
that's-
first core memories of pure trauma and sadness.
Yeah, that's how I
I
started
do
hating
remember
him because they were
Yeah.
cheering when he was hurt.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's when UK fans were real shitty.
They were cheering hard when he was hurt.
Yeah,
like-
they're not as bad anymore.
No, they're not bad at all. I went to the
No.
Florida Kentucky game last year, and we 2 years ago, and watched Clayton hit a buzzer beater, beat him, and nobody was mad. Still,
That game
I was really
fun.
surprised.
They were mad when I was in there in Gonzaga. Tap that up. All right. So yeah, we'll see what Gator land, man. 8 wins. Okay, I like the expectations, so that's cool. So all right, man. I think that's pretty much covers it on the quarterback talk and the little college football talk there at the end. Will, like I said, I really appreciate you joining us on our Mondays. I know they're dwindling down before we all go to Mobile. Us and all of our friends and everyone that follows, pretty much the draft. And you'll be able to follow us. We'll have coverage daily. NFL Network will have live coverage there from practice as well. So stay tuned. For all of our coverage, Will join us every single Monday leading up. Will, you got any final thoughts before we let the people go?
Pavia got robbed.
No, facts.
He did get robbed. You know what, man? And I really do think it was a character thing. I really think that Penn State drive for Mendoza really. I think Gus Johnson was right. That might have been his Heisman moment. Could have been.
That catch by the guy?
Moment.
Right, that's what I was saying.
That
the
was
catch?
the best catch I've ever seen. What do y'all think about all? Okay, I'm sorry, I can't help it. What do y'all think about this Elijah Surratt hate? He's getting all this hate over a practice rep. You seen that? I know
Yeah.
you've seen it, Will.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it, but it almost doesn't matter because he's so good at just going up the sideline. Like, if you don't like him over the middle of the field, that's fine. I didn't love that rep either. But first off, it is just one rep in practice. And even if it's bad at that, it doesn't matter. He's good at what he's good at.
What blows my mind? Okay, I have to get this fact straight.
He's a good short route runner.
This was also a practice for the Natty, right? Like, this is a recent practice, right?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hate to. I mean, we went to state championship. You practiced for the state championship. Was it a hard practice or was it light as hell?
Let's chill.
You didn't do anything. We didn't do anything.
get hurt,
It
man.
was the lightest practice ever. We had 4-hour practices every single day.
It was
Our
easy.
practice for the state was a freaking hour. And it was a walkthrough. We didn't do shit.
Couldn't get hurt, man.
We didn't do shit. Everybody shitting the chicken over Elijah Surratt, not trying to get hurt before the Natty. I mean, you're freaking blood. I mean, come on.
Natty's
Come
tomorrow.
on.
Why is nobody hitting? No
Why?
shit.
That's
That's what
dumb,
blows
man.
my mind.
Surratt's good. He's gonna be a good pro.
Dude, I really was hoping. I was just for I thought people were trolling. I'm like, that's probably a really old clip. I'm like, when I seen he had a hoodie and sweats on, I'm like, no, that's recent. And they were going crazy over a
What do you run a half-ass route?
what? Okay, what did they say before the drill? You played, Will. We're going 50-50. We're going full tilt. We're going 75. If you didn't say we're going full, we're live. We're live.
You don't say we're live. I ain't going full speed.
Exactly.
Like-
Nobody
walking.
is.
Right.
Exactly. That was as far as we know. That was a quarterback warm-up drill. We don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't
So-
even for him.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So yeah,
Fair
I want to hit
enough.
at that because everybody's murdering Elijah Surratt, and guess what? He'll be at Senior Bowl. He'll be in Mobile, and he's going to have a big week. I'm already predicting it.
He'll
So,
score a tutty in the championship game too.
yep, hope so. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Calling it now.
We'd love to see it, and we'll keep you covered. Everyone enjoy the national championship. If you want to catch our national championship preview, it's still live. Obviously, the game will be tonight. Is Indiana going to do it?
Yeah.
Pick
Remember,
on Bill.
31-13, my score.
I'm going with Indiana, even though I'm freaking scared that we're all going to be
What's your
wrong.
score, Will?
I mean, Miami should slow him down a little bit, although I thought that about Oregon too. I mean,
Me
I'll
too,
go,
exactly.
I'll go like 34-14. I think they smother Beck.
Yeah, that's close to mine. I had 31-13, so I like
I
that
think
score.
it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be close, really close, actually, like classic, ESPN classic, or it's going to be a blowout. And I think right now, I think it's going to be close. I'm going to be.
I hope you're right, man.
Yes, I'm going to be just a. I don't know. I think I'm just being blind by fault, not really like because Indiana should be the shit out of them.
The way they're coached is just crazy.
Yeah, Indiana should be the shit out of them. So
They're like robots.
yeah, they just don't have enough weapons. That's where it comes down to me. I look at everything and I just look at wide receivers. I'm like, they have one guy. He's a dog. I mean, we love him.
Like I said, though, A&M shut his ass down. If they can do it, Indiana can.
But
he had like 20 yards that game, bro.
Yeah,
Everybody said he
but that's
dominated that game.
I
That's
know,
crazy.
if you reclassified and you're supposed to be high school senior,
I'm not hating on
I'll
him.
give
I'm
you
just
more
saying
than
you
two
can shut him
games to
down.
have shitty games.
You can shut him down.
You can, yes.
You
Yeah,
can always shut a receiver
you can
down.
shut anybody down.
It's just about what the other guys are going to do. But you ain't worried about the other guys at Miami.
Right.
Like you were last year with Jeremiah Smith. That's why last year against Texas, Jeremiah Smith had like 5 yards, 1 catch.
And
but the other guys went off.
And
and they had Tate went off. So they don't have that on this team. That's the problem.
If they do cancel out, that's when they go to Mark Fletcher. But to win the Natty, you have to have more than just 2 guys to go to. So we'll see how it plays out. I think pretty much everybody's got Indiana. But stay tuned for our coverage, everyone, for Senior Bowl. I know Elite 11s are coming up here. We will pretty much be in Elite 11s. The first one that we will be at will be February 28th. In Indianapolis. Want to give a shout out to the
hopefully indoors.
You said what?
Hopefully indoors.
It is indoor.
Oh hell yeah!
Yes. Well, or one of the 3 we're going to is indoor.
Hopefully that one. 28th. Shit.
I think it is. So hopefully it will be, and we will be there. Any players registered for there, shout out to them. I want to give a shout to Davin Davidson, who won MVP of this regional at Miami this past weekend. He will be on the show the next week, so shout out to him. And 3-star quarterback out of Cali. So get familiar with him, and you'll get really familiar with him and really get his perspective on how that went when he gets on the show. But until then, we will see how the national championship shakes out and how it all goes down as we continue to preview Mobile, Alabama's finest event. Well, maybe second because they claim
Mardi
to
Gras.
be the eventers of Mardi Gras. So, hey, but they hang their hats on the Senior Bowl, as do we, because it's a hell of a time. Can't wait to be down there. And can't thank you enough, Will, for being on. And we will catch you on Wednesday. Y'all have a good one.
Yep. See y'all later.
Peace. Sports here with Josh Connolly, wrapping up day 2 of practice. How'd you think it went, man?
I think it was an okay day. Definitely, I feel like it was a lot better than the team. One of the ones that was a little bit ups and downs, you know what I mean? But as long as you just keep going and keep fighting, just playing ball at the end of the day. And
they seen you got you some reps at tackle and guard. It looks like you're pretty comfortable at both. What's the biggest thing you're wanting to really prove this week to the scouts?
Really, I'm versatile and I can do whatever's asked.
All right, and then before we get you out of here, man, is anybody you kind of want to give a shout out back home that's kind of been with you throughout the whole way?